Sounds True presents the final volume in the Dangerous Old Woman series, How to Be an Elder, Myths and Stories of the Wise Woman Archetype, with Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Hola! Hello, dear brave souls, and welcome home. Welcome to the tribe of the Sacred Heart. Many of us, Scar Clan, we're at the fireside together now with the Dangerous Old Woman and her sisters, the Crones and the Consigliadas and the Wise Old Angels and the Elders of yore, of long ago, and of our times too, right now. So take a deep breath and sit back and make yourself comfy and just be here with us at the fireside. Los tres secretos, the three secrets. Three secrets of walking this world as a wise woman. Here they are. The first is the secret of the old woman, the most dangerous of all old women, is that she knows and she will tell you that you have been born gifted. And because of that, here is the intelligence. You will never, ever, ever lead an ordinary life. You will never lead a normal life. And isn't that good news? It is, because it's much easier to be yourself if you don't have to be quote-unquote normal, and if you don't have to be quote-unquote ordinary in certain ways. Second secreto, you're made one of a kind. All of your oddities and furbelows and embroideries and feathers, all the things that stick out or don't show about you, one of a kind. And it's meant to be this way. That's why I say that eccentricity is often the first sign of giftedness. Eccentricity, to my way of thinking, can be seen in little children, as well as adults, regardless of how old they are or how young they are. And los tres, the third secreto, is if you might make the error of seeking normalcy, please get over that delusion as quickly as possible. You cannot fit a tiger into a matchbox. Do not try to contain that which is large. It's an overculture's idea that we should be narrow, orderly, and contained. And the truth is, we're jaggedy and we're broken and our hem is hanging and there are threads all over the place that are loose. And instead of thinking that we'll have to make a tidy life, we'll say we'll have to aim ourselves toward a triumphant life. A life that has many, many tries to it, many adventures to it. And this idea that there are ways to be that are unbounded, that we're born to, is what an elder transmits directly to the young. What is an elder? I have several versions, several ideas about it. For instance, the way that I was trained was to think in terms of how we can know things. And some people will tell you can only know one way, and that is by reading about research that has been done on the subject matter. And that once you have read that science-based evidence, then you will know what that thing is. And it's true, that's one way of knowing, but there are many, many other ways. So knowing the stories surrounding elders is another way of knowing. That is called anecdotal evidence. But really what it is it's storytelling and story remembering. Today, the recordadoras which are us, the rememberers, the ones who tell the stories because they remember the stories. Remember I tell you, stories happen to those who can tell them, right? See, this remembering and recording of the stories of your lives is what gives you all the transmissions that you're going to make to those who are younger than you. So an elder can be known by the stories that they carry. And the fact that they have washed and rinsed those stories, in other words, have thought about what has happened to them in life. I draw from that, whether it's negative or positive doesn't matter, because there are object lessons in almost everything. But the fact that they record them, remember them, and tell them is one way of being an elder. There is one way of saying that is historicity, the history of the being that you are, that you compose it in a sense through stories, and then you offer those to others as the time erupts, as it feels meaningful in the moment. To someone who is struggling or doesn't know or asks your opinion, then you will transmit to them. And in that sense, I think an elder, in one way, can be a person of any age. That we tend to think of elders as very, very old people. That is a kind of elder, but it seems that when people have knowledge, elder knowledge, older than the person to whom they're speaking, who is naive or depleted or unknowing or uneducated yet or inexperienced, that you are eldering them in the moment. I understand the word elder is not a state of being, but a state of giving. A way that you give to others, a way that we all give to other human beings, and especially those who don't yet know. If there's a la que sabe, then there's a no que sabe. There's the one who doesn't know, and there's also the elder who, if they do the work, they often know many, many things. Also, as we go along, I've told you about Aunt Edna. Aunt Edna will always be with us, and the dangerous old woman. She's one of the grand old dames of our fireside here. And in her life, when I was a child, we had, she was a bad influence, let me put it that way. She was considered by the more narrow-minded people of the family to be a clear and present danger to everyone that she came in contact with. In part because she sort of dressed like a pirate, and she had boots on. She was always clomping around, or she had high heels on with one great big red painted toenail sticking out of the end of the shoe, or she will wear a cane along with her fur coat, even though she might not need a cane at the moment. And she was flamboyant, and she's rough, and she's tough. She was tough. She could talk back to people. She could talk back to people who were unjust. And yet, she would give me blackjack gum, and she would say, "Here's some blackjack gum. Practice for being